I fucking did it.
Diddy.
Wait, hello?
Hello.
The fuck? My shit not working? Uh-oh. Did Discord break? I think Discord broke. I think it broke. Well, I guess Discord is not happening for me right now. It's fine. Welcome everybody to the stream. We're gonna be doing also a part of this is gonna be the podcast. I don't know where my other co-hosts are. They might be busy or something. I don't know. So we're just going to talk about a little bit of this and then do all the good stuff. Let me go ahead and pull up like this really quick because we're gonna do some grinding while we talk about this shit. Once it starts up. There we go. Good job. Proud of you. Okay. I also need to feed my Doge. Huh? We gotta eat. What? What? Maybe no. Bullshit. Oh, so we doing that? Shit, let's go. Okay, let's go. All right, I can fuck with that. Okay. Okay. So, what was I doing last night? Okay, I think I was just mindly going through all these fucking quests. Okay. Anyways, looks like we got let's see. Got 8 articles roughly that I want to talk about, or 8 subjects. The first one being that it looks like after almost what 30 years, I think it's been roughly 3 decades, or going on the third decade. Um, Pokemon is. It looks like they're finally concluding Ash's journey. Pokemon's Twitter account tweeted out that an all-new Pokemon series has been announced. Join 2 new characters and 3 Paldea starter Pokemon as they adventure through the Pokemon world. Plus, commemorate Ash's journey with special episodes concluding Ultimate Journeys the series. Um, the series is the same both in Japan and America, but if I remember correctly, Netflix has like an exclusive license for the series, so you can only watch it on there essentially. Um, right now there's only up to Master's Journeys like part one, and I think there's going to be 3 parts, and then Ultimate Journeys. Ultimate Journeys is going to be a special 13 episodes that are basically going to be wrapping up Ash's storyline, and then it looks like the 2 new characters are going to be Roy and Rika, I think is what their names are. So yeah, a lot of people are speculating that Ash will still play some part in it. It's just he's either going to be a side character, or you never know, he could be a side boss or something like that. Just because you know he finally became a champion, so um, so there's not really a point anymore for him to keep, keep the storyline going at this point, unless they were to do like a time skip. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's an end of a saga, and a lot of people are heartbroken about it, but it's just like it time kind of has to go on. Um, so it looks like the two characters, one of them looks like Go from the series and has red hair. The female main character looks like she has blue highlights and long hair, and they also put if you guys remember Ash's hat from the very first season of Pokemon, his hat had that it's almost like a check mark, like a green check mark, or you could say like a slanted L. It looks like the female character, main character lead, she has a hair clip that's that exact same symbol. So some people are speculating that she's related to Ash in some way. So we'll have to see. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not necessarily heartbroken about it. If anything, I'm kind of glad that they're finally letting at least that letting him retire as a character. It needed to happen at some point, and I think it's a perfect time for it for the season to or for the series to end, or at least his storyline to end. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let me fuck up this boss really quick. Uh oh, too many particle effects are going on. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of people are being butthurt about it, but it is what it is. Moving on to the next one. Um, there was a new game, or I shouldn't say new, but there was a game the basically the game that inspired Minecraft is called Dwarf Fortress. It's a very complex like building simulator, I believe. Um, well, apparently, after spending 20 years simulating reality, Dwarf Fortress devs have to get used to a new one, being millionaires. Um, with 300,000 sales and counting, Dwarf Fortress's characters no longer have to rely on Patreon donations. Acclaimed indie colony slash existence sim Dwarf Fortress launched on Steam on December 6th, and it's since been having a bit of a moment. Other game devs gushed about Dwarf Fortress and its influence on launch day. Someone on the Steam forums asked if all the people reviewing the game on Steam moments after launch have been playing free DF for 25 years and were just waiting for an opportunity to pay $30. So far, the 237-page thread is almost entirely people answering yes. Publisher Kit Fox Games tweeted that Dwarf Fortress had blown past their predicted 2 month sales figure in less than 24 hours. Now, 6 days later, Dwarf Fortress has sold around 300,000 copies, developer Tarn Adams said in an interview with PC Gamer. Um, Tanya, short of Kit Fox Games, posted that it sold 160,000 first day, and we're about to double that now, Adams said. Adams and his brother Zach, who've been developing the game together since the early 2000s, were remarkably calm about the game's success on Steam so far. Even almost a week after launch, the degree of success might not have quite sunk in. Um, Based on extremely basic math, 300,000 copies of Dwarf Fortress sold equals $9 million in sales. Subtract Valve's 30% cut, and you have $6 million to be split between the Adams brothers and Kit Fox and new contributors. Like the artist and composer who worked on this Steam release, regional pricing makes that figure fuzzier, of course, and the Adams didn't talk about their publishing split, but with Dwarf Fortress still among Steam's top sellers, the two must have millions coming their way. Quote, it's just a ton of money, but it's also for 20 years. Tarn Adams said, so when you divide that by 20, you're kind of back down into normal tech salary range, which is still pretty high, obviously. Um, let's see here. We found a foolproof way of saving our money, which was not to sell anything for 20 years and then drop it all. In 2019, the brothers announced plans for the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress as a way to help them afford healthcare. A part of that announcement was a promise to fans that they would take care of themselves. They'll have to figure out exactly what that means when Steam's first payout arrives in February and they become millionaires. Um, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Much kudos to them as a game that clearly has been a trailblazer for at least a handful of simulation games, and from what I've heard, part of that is Minecraft. Um, it's pretty cool, and obviously much deserving for these two, and I hope that they enjoy their new riches. It's pretty good. I hope that the game keeps selling really well too. Um, let's see here. Moving on to the next one. Let's see here. Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed for PS4 and Xbox One. Um, let's see here. The last gen versions of Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed again to April 4th, while the Nintendo Switch version has an official release date of July 25th. Um, the game's official Twitter account posted the update alongside the Twitch date reveal, but didn't give reason as to why the last gen version has been delayed. The PS5 and Xbox Series versions of Hogwarts Legacy are unaffected and will launch as planned on February 10th. This marks the second delay for Hogwarts Legacy, as it was originally expected to launch during the holiday period this year before being pushed back to the February date. Let's see. Developer Avalanche Software has slowly but surely been sharing different elements of the game, showing off its Hogs Mead quest, flying broom sections, and the dark magic at Hogwarts. One of the biggest talking points surrounding the game is in its connection to Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, who has sparked controversy in recent years over her transphobic comments. Warner Brothers has said that the author isn't directly involved in the game, but its leadership said she's entitled to express her personal opinion. I mean, could have also just ignored that instead of making that kind of half-ass fucking comment, but you know, nonetheless, that kind of sucks for last gen people. But at the same time, it could be because they mainly made this for PC and new gen or current gen, I should say, consoles. So because of that, they could be having some technical difficulties in terms of like stabilization, optimization, and like balancing that with how the game looks. So I can understand that to an extent because I think you could probably make the same, or you could probably say the same thing happened to Cyberpunk. So, I mean, it's better they take their time versus, trying to release a game that's completely trash. Not that Cyberpunk was, but it was released in a really trash way. So, um, go ahead and turn this background obviously there because it's a little bit too quiet. Um, but yeah, it kind of sucks that it got pushed back, but I'm sure people would rather that versus having a broken state game. Let's see. Moving on to the next one is DC related. So the title of the article: James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC master plan is complete, and it includes a young Superman movie. James Gunn has announced that he and DC Studios co-president Peter Safran's plan for DC is complete, and while he'll share more in the new year, one project he revealed is a young Superman. Quote: Peter and I get this shit off my screen. I don't need that though. Let's see. Quote: Peter and I have a DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about, Gunn said. Among those in the slate is Superman in the initial stages. Our story will be focusing on the earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill. Which, by the way, as a side note, it looks like that Henry Cavill has announced that if you guys didn't know, Henry Cavill is like Loki, a very huge, like what you would consider a nerd. He loves Warhammer, and apparently he is going to be He announced that a Warhammer 40K series is in the works over on Amazon side, and I believe he's going to have a major role in it as well as executive producing it. I'm not for sure on that. Don't quote me, but if I remember correctly, that's what it said in the article. But anyways, continuing on with this, in a series of follow-up tweets, Gunn says that he spoke with Cavill, and while They won't be working on a new Man of Steel together. The pair talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future on. Furthermore, Gunn will write the Superman movie and has been for a while, but will not be directing the project. It is also not an origin movie. Um, let's see. Don't care about any of this. Ain't you? Like, there you go. Let's see. There have been many reports about the future of DC under James Gunn and Peter Safran, and the director has taken to Twitter to either confirm or deny these stories. One report was that Man of Steel 2 would be put on pause as Gunn and Safran think about whether or not to do away with the Snyderverse completely. While at least one part of that report appears to be true, as Man of Steel 2 does not appear dead. Other Snyderverse films like Wonder Woman 3 are supposedly canceled, something director Patty Jenkins seemingly confirmed when she revealed nothing she could do would move the film forward. Um, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. I've heard a lot of people upset about it. Obviously, me loving the Marvel movies so much, I haven't really paid too much attention with the DC universe, except for they always have a rough time trying to jumpstart the series and make it super popular, and also make the scripts and all the background shit go smoothly and do well. So I mean, could also say that a lot of people might be excited or optimistic about it. We'll have to see. It does suck that Henry Cavill won't be doing it, but it doesn't mean that necessarily that he won't be back later. It just means that for now he's just kind of like sidelined until at least until they further the Superman storyline a little bit more. Because if they're going with a younger version, they can't go with Henry Cavill because early version. Um, so I guess we'll have to see. Hopefully, with this complete quote unquote reboot, the series or the DC universe will finally get the love that it deserves. Um, and they need to stop with the reboots. They need to hammer down on one because they've made. I think they've had 3 different iterations of Batman in the last like 8 years. They need to decide. Um, so yeah, it's that's pretty cool. Um, don't really have much anything else on that. I did see a couple of YouTubers very upset about it, but they got to do what they got to do to make the series popular or the universe popular. And if they think this is gonna work, then it's gonna work. Um, let's see here. Apparently, a leaker has told, or a reliable leaker claims that Naughty Dog is actively developing The Last of Us 3 with Neil Druckmann leading the project. Um, see here, the Last of Us franchise has been hugely successful for Naughty Dog and PlayStation, with the first 2 games selling millions of copies and earning widespread critical acclaim. Oh man. The Last of Us has even proven popular enough to get its own HBO TV series scheduled to premiere in January of next year, so next month. Leaker Viewer Anon has revealed certain details about the Last of Us TV series ahead of time, like that Ellie game actress Ashley Johnson is playing Anna in the TV series, and now they have another leak about the horror franchise, this time relating to the video game series. Viewer Anon claims that Neil Druckmann's next game will be none other than Last of Us Part 3, and that the game is currently in active development at Naughty Dog considering the massive success of the previous 2 games. It's really no surprise that Naughty Dog and Sony are apparently making a new Last of Us game. Unfortunately, Viewer Anon stopped short of providing any additional details on the project. Um, and that could be because there are a very select few people that actually know the inner workings of that, and if he said something about it, it could more than likely like rat out the person that's leaked this to this person. Let's see. Oh shit. Gotta go do this now. How far away is this? Okay. Um, Let's see here. A completely different game is rumored to be in development at Naughty Dog as well. Rumors have persisted that Naughty Dog is making a sci-fi or steampunk game called Strays Cross. Nothing official on that project has been announced at the time of this writing, but if it exists, one has to imagine that it would precede The Last of Us 3 as well, though it's just speculation at this point. So, considering how the last game went, I hope that they don't pander too much, is all I'm gonna say. In my opinion, it kind of like Sites of Medea. Let's go here because I need to grab a horse and drop a bunch of shit off. S- use that at some point. Those. Okay. But as I was saying, I hope that if they are making a part three, it's better because Last of Us Part Two could have been a lot better. There are inconsistencies in the story. They killed off the first one of the first game's main characters extremely early. Um, and they could have done better with an antagonist, to be honest. So I just hope that they learn from their past mistakes and fix that. As for Stray's Cross, I don't really have an opinion on that because all we know is a title. That's it, and we don't even know if it's like it's as far as we know, it's just a rumor. We have no idea what stage in the development it's in. It could still be on the drawing board for all we know. So I'm not too worried about that. So we'll have to see. Um, let's see here. Speaking of Sony stuff, got two of these. No, technically three. It looks like a Death Stranding movie is in the works. A group of ambitious creatives will soon attempt the impossible to make a truly great movie based on the video game. The game in this case is the recent hit Death Stranding from Hideo Kojima and his Kojima Productions company. Kojima previously was the auteur behind such legendary games as the Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid franchises. This new film will come from Kojima Productions and Hammerstone Studios, the production company that was behind the recent horror hit Barbarian. Never heard of it. Um, let's see here. The game's cast included such recognizable movie and TV talents as Norman Reedus, Mads Mikkelsen, Leah Seydoux, Guillermo del Toro, and Margaret Qualley, and was set on the post-apocalyptic world where strange monsters wander in the land. Per a press conference release, the film version will introduce new elements and characters within the Death Stranding universe. In other words, it's not a direct one-to-one or adaptation of the game. It is on the fast track with development underway. Kojima fans have been waiting for years and years for someone to make a Metal Gear Solid movie. Rumors and reports of various potential adaptations of that movie has floated around Hollywood for at least 15 years. At one point, longtime Spider-Man producer Avi Arad was overseeing the project years ago. Kong Skull Island's Jordan Vogt Roberts was attached to the direct, but it's been a while since we've gotten a major update on any project progress on that film. So if Death Stranding makes it to theater first, that would really be something. The press release claims the movie is on the fast track with development underway. Um, I didn't play the game. I did hear that it's very much a chill and relax game. It is very much not something that's going to keep you at the edge of your seat per se. Um, from the gameplay videos that I've seen, the universe is interesting, especially the apocalyptic elements, and I'm curious how to see what kind of genre that's going to fit into. Maybe action horror elements. That's only possibly thriller. We'll have to see. But I haven't played the game, so I don't know all the elements that will go into it. I just know that it's basically a delivery voice simulator. That's as much as I know. But I mean, if they can make a good movie adaptation, it would be one of the very few movie great adaptations or games. So we'll have to see. Um, let's see here. PlayStation released a blog post on the 15th. So what was it? Yesterday. For PlayStation in 2023, which more specifically the highlights. Um, let's see here. The year's end is over the horizon, which means 2023 is about to begin. While 2022 has gone out with a god-sized bang thanks to God of War Ragnarok, that doesn't mean 2023 has nothing in store. The coming year is huge for PlayStation, stacked with a lineup of exciting releases. Whether you've been looking forward to the release of the ultra customizable DualSense Edge controller, which is basically their version of the Elite 2 controller on Microsoft's side. Virtual reality adventures with PlayStation VR 2, fantastic new IPs like Forspoken, or sequels to iconic titles like Marvel Spider-Man 2. This year has something for you. While there's a ton coming to PlayStation in 2023, this article aims to highlight a handful of the biggest things announced for next year. First one being up is Marvel Spider-Man 2. Um, see here, it launches on PS5 in the fall of next year. Obviously, we got Forspoken coming up here soon, which I think that is, yep, that's releasing near the end of January. The DualSense controller is also slated to release late January. Hogwarts Legacy, as we went through before, is supposed to come out for PS5 February 10th and April 4th for PS4. So as far as I know, or as far as we know, that the most recent one should be the last on paper. The VR2 headset should be coming out also in February, more specifically on the 22nd. Destiny 2 Lightfall is slated to release on the 28th of February next year. Resident Evil 4 Remake is being released on March 24th. Final Fantasy 16. Let's see here. RPG fans of the world are clamoring to see more of the game and ultimately get their hands on it. Enter a world of six kingdoms: Rosaria, Walode, the Iron Kingdom, the Crystalline Dominion, Zambrech, and the Dalmekian Republic. Each at each other's throats and looking to gain access to the series' iconic crystals of power. You play as the firstborn of the Archduke of Rosaria, Clive Rosaria, and embark on a journey of revenge driven by the appearance of a familiar summon, Ifrit. This title is taking a new approach to the Final Fantasy formula with more in-depth combat than ever. Um, Thanks to director Naoki Yoshi P. Yoshida's choice to bring on Ryota Suzuki, who helped develop Devil May Cry 5 and Dragon's Dogma's combat systems. But don't think the world bending will take a back seat. As it and all of its inhabitants come together to tell another epic story worthy of the Final Fantasy name. And that seems to be the biggest highlights. Me personally, I'm looking forward to Forspoken, and possibly Lightfall. We'll have to see. I still haven't beaten Witch Queen's raid, so I mean, I'm kind of like sitting on the back seat for that one. Although I will give Destiny its credits and its dues by saying that the game has made major improvements to the gameplay formula and has actually made it fun to grind out shit. So I'll probably give it a shot. I might buy it. We'll have to see. And then obviously Final Fantasy 16. We are doing a playthrough on the channel of it, but the game is so long. I was having internet issues for so long that I haven't really gotten back to it yet. But I'm deciding between continuing that and starting up Witcher 3's thing. Let's see. So we'll have to see, but those highlights are pretty good. A lot of solid hits are on the way, and I can't wait to see how PS5 competes. Um, let's see. Moving on to another game that started out on the PlayStation, or another franchise that started on there. Guerrilla Studios has confirmed that it is working on a multiplayer game set in the Horizon Zero Dawn universe, and that it will feature a brand new cast of characters and a new art style. In a job advertisement post on Twitter, the Amsterdam-based studio revealed that a new internal team is developing a separate online project set in the Horizon universe. Quote, featuring a new cast of characters and a unique, stylized look. Friends will be able to explore the majestic wilds of Horizon together. A rumor suggesting a multiplayer Horizon game surfaced earlier this year, but this is the first time the Guerrilla has confirmed such plans for the machine hunting series. Job listings provide a little more context. The narrative designer for the online project is required to tell a deep and complex story, suggesting this is likely not just a match based multiplayer game. The game writer is asked to pitch compelling ideas for quests, factions, and backstories, pointing to something that will be a game with at least similar narrative elements to those seen in the mainline series. Meanwhile, the lead combat designer for the Get project will be responsible for creating a variety of enemies, machines, and humanoids that focus on exciting combat with cooperative elements. Gorilla notes in its Twitter post that it is continuing to create epic solo adventures of Aloy, and so it can be consumed that a third mainline Horizon game is also planned. This new multiplayer project won't be the first game to expand the Horizon universe, though. In February, the PSVR 2 headset will be debuting with Horizon Call of the Mountain, a virtual reality take on the developer's colorful post-apocalyptic world. So that's pretty cool. I haven't played any of the games, but I've heard quite a few good things about it. Um, I think that the first game is on Steam too, so that could be a possible game we could play through at some point. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Um, oops, 22. Oops, that's not. There we go. That's what I wanted. But yeah, so that seems pretty cool. We'll have to see what this game turns out to be. Hopefully, they'll have something in store, at least like maybe a trailer or maybe more details or something coming next E3. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping that it's low key like an open world, 'cause I think that would be pretty fun for friends. Let's see here. And then I think the last thing I really wanted to cover tonight was the Game Awards. So Game Awards, I think, yeah, it happened almost a week ago at least. Um, the Game Awards was apparently really action packed. I think they actually announced quite a few things. Um, but we don't really have time, at least tonight, to go over all of those announcements. So I figured that before we end the stream or the show, we can go ahead and at least go over the winners for the award night. So game of the year, obviously. I think actually I shouldn't say obviously. For people that don't know, the game of the year award was up to I think it was 6 entries. Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Um, the winner being Elden Ring. And I think just because it had a way, as much as I loved watching someone play through Ragnarok, I would say that Elden Ring was a whole. I wouldn't say a whole different level, but it definitely had its average gaming experience was probably higher just because of the versatility of the builds, the the expanse of the world building, the narrative, the story. You actually had to find it and actually piece it together. And once you did, the lore went insanely deep. Um, there wasn't really any character development, but there were interesting characters. And obviously the soundtrack as a whole was also fantastic. And with Ragnarok only being out for I think like a month at this point, right? God, Ragnarok. Yeah. So it's been a little over a month that the game's been out, and Elden Ring's been out for almost a year. Because I think it came out in February. So it's just like not enough people have actually sat down to digest the game in time for it to win Game of the Year. I will say it was fantastic to watch, but there were a few bosses and antagonists that kind of fell short, and I didn't really like the design of. So it is what it is. Best game direction was let's see here between once again Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray, with Elden Ring taking the winning place. Best narrative, um, was between Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. Ragnarok actually took that award, so fantastic. Best Art Direction was between Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray, with Elden Ring taking that award. Best Score Music was between, once again, Plague Tale, Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, um, and Yasunori Mitsuda. I don't know what he was. It doesn't say what score he did. Anyways, Ragnarok won Best Score slash Music Direction. Best Audio Design went to God of War Ragnarok. Um, Best Performance, which this is 100% deserved, went to Christopher Judge, who, though if you guys didn't know, voiced Kratos both in God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. Did a fantastic job. Loved it. Um, Games for Impact. I don't or a thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning or message was between a Memoir Blue, As Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling, Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, and I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Haven't heard any. Um, As Dusk Falls won that one. Best ongoing game was between Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact, with the winner being Final Fantasy 14. Not surprised, it's probably the number one MMO in the market right now. Um, so that shouldn't be surprising whatsoever. Best indie game was between Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic, with Stray taking that award. I'm not surprised. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about the game, so I can't say that it doesn't deserve it. Speaking of which, Stray also won Best Debut Indie Game. Um, Best Mobile Game was between Mobile Legend or Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy. Marvel Snap actually took that one. I didn't even know that they had an award for that. Best Community Support was between Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. Final Fantasy 14 won that one, although I wouldn't have been mad if No Man's Sky had won that because that is probably the greatest comeback story in video game history. Um, let's see here. Best VR slash AR game was between After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2, with the award going to Moss Book 2. Innovation and accessibility was between As Dusk Falls, Ragnarok, Returnal, Return to Monkey Island, Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry, with the award going to Ragnarok. Um, Best action game was between Bayonetta 3, Modern Warfare 2 2022, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I didn't even know they came out with a new game this year. Um, oops. The award went to Bayonetta 3. I would say that it probably deserved it. Best action slash adventure game was between Requiem, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. With the award going to Ragnarok, can't complain about that. Best RPG was won by Elden Ring. Best fighting game was between DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All Star Battle Royale, King of Fighters 15, Multiverses, and Sifu, with Multiverses taking the award on that one. I can't say it doesn't deserve it because in all of these, from what I could tell, the only next best one probably would have been Sifu. But I've heard nothing but fantastic things about Multiverses, or I shouldn't say nothing, but for the most part, I've heard really good things about Multiverses, so congratulations to the devs on that one. Best family game went to Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Our co-host Markov actually, I think, was singing nothing but praise for that game, so I can't say it didn't deserve that one. Best sports slash racing game went to Gran Turismo 7. Um, However, kind of surprised about that one because I've heard that like outside of mechanics, the microtransactions in that game were horrendous. Um, let's see here. Best sim slash strategy game went to Mario and Rabbits and the Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Best multiplayer game went to Splatoon 3. Content creator of the year went to Ludwig. I just realized Kai Cenat wasn't. That's surprised. That's surprising. Best esports athlete went to Jacob Ye Whittaker. Plays for Cloud Knight playing Valorant. Best esports coach went to Matthias Tarasconi, or you guys know him as Visca. That's an interesting in-game name, but nonetheless, that's his name. Um, is the esports coach for Loud that play in their esports games Valorant. Best esports event went to World Champions or Worlds for League of Legends 2022. Best esports game went to Valorant. Best esports team went to Loud that plays Valorant. Most anticipated game is Legend of Zelda, or award went to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Not surprised. The game, I think the first game got like 10s out of 10s from most reviewers. Best adaptation went to Arcane for League of Legends, which I'm not surprised. That was, from what I've heard, that is a fantastic show. But I wouldn't have been surprised if Cyberpunk Edge Runners had won it. So yeah, those are all the awards that got awarded this year for at least this game award show. Um, so that's pretty good. I would say overall, I'm quite happy with the awards that got given out this year. I have really no complaints. The only ones I don't really care for are really best content creator of the year. I don't watch a lot of Twitch streamers, so it is what it is. Overall, really good. Happy for Christopher Judge. He deserves that award. Same with Stray. It's kind of hard bringing up a indie game, and from what I've been told, they put a lot of heart and soul into that game. Same with Multiverses, so nothing but love coming their way. But other than that, I think it's basically just been a running simulator for this. So sure you guys don't really watch that, but nonetheless, I think that's gonna go ahead and end tonight's podcast slash stream. So if you guys enjoyed tonight's stream, make sure to drop a follow both here and on my socials. That way you guys know about any changes in the schedule. I try to be as consistent and try to be um, as frequent on the updates as I can, because obviously I forget quite a bit too. I try to keep up on that as much as possible. Be sure to also go and subscribe to the team's YouTube channel. That's where we post all the VODs the for the podcast, so that people don't have to miss any. Because I don't always upload every single VOD, depending on, or I don't always publish, I should say, all the VODs from the Twitch channel. So you can usually catch those on the other channel. Um, Other than that, hope you all have a good night.